I'm delighted to say that Adebayo Akinfenwa, EFL legend, and the former Crystal Palace midfielder Darren Ambrose have joined me, Alex Crook, in the studio. Just the 7 games this weekend, guys, but plenty of talking points. As I said there, Tottenham putting 6 past Leicester, who remain with just 1 point from 7 games. Bottom of the table. Nottingham Forest beaten again, back-to-back defeats for Steve Cooper's side against their fellow newly promoted teams. West Ham United also in the relegation places going into this international fortnight after losing 1-0 at Everton. What did you make of it all? What was your highlight, Darren Ambrose, of the weekend?
Oh, of course, the 6 goals that Tottenham put past Leicester. You know what? I listened to James Maddison's interview after the game. I thought it was fantastic, by the way, for him to come out and say that. Showed a lot of willing, a lot of confidence. But he was right. It kind of flattered Tottenham a little bit. I think Son's masterclass, 13 minutes, and to make it look like 6. To anyone who's not watching the game would think, oh, Spurs have absolutely annihilated Leicester. It weren't really that. It was just Son come on, made a huge difference, had a point to prove. We see that, and we've known that he's been a bit off form at the moment, but 3 fantastic goals. I was delighted that the last one wasn't offside. I think I was listening to that game on talkSPORT actually, and they were saying no, it's definitely on. So yeah, that was my highlight. And of course Arsenal are flying again. You know, they done very well again today. Difficult for me to say being a Spurs supporter, but that for me they need to be thinking about definitely top 4, definitely, if not higher.
First time since 2016 Arsenal top the Premier League table. We should mention Manchester City as well. Ruthless again in their win over 10-man Wolves. Erling Haaland, he might get 60 goals by the end of the season, the way he's going. Newcastle United, want to hear from their supporters. Has your early season optimism been punctured? Just the 1 win for Eddie Howe's side so far, held at home by Bournemouth yesterday. Another brilliant result for Gary O'Neill, the interim manager. And Bayo, I guess it's nice for you to be here on a Sunday night and not talking about a Liverpool defeat.
Hi, yeah. There we go. There we go.
Nah,
man, listen, man. Anyway, look, you already know about my Liverpool. The game at home against Ajax, we saw a little something there. So, like I said, I'm not really too worried about Liverpool. I think they will come good. I think it will all click. But what Ambrose was saying as well, I think Arsenal are the real deal. I watched them today. And I think it said top 4 has to be minimum what they're looking for. But like we said at the beginning of the season, I do think it's the depth of their squad that will tell. I think if they do get a couple injuries, I think it'll be problematic. And of course, that's easy to say with any squad. But I just think Arsenal's 13, 14 is very good.
Because you look today, there was no Zinchenko, there was no Ødegaard, who started the season so well. There was no Smith Rowe to come in and replace him due to injury. No problem. Vieira looks right at home in the Premier League.
Brilliant.
Is there a more improved player this year than Granit Xhaka? I mean, his relationship with the Arsenal fans was obviously at rock bottom at one stage. He was stripped of the captaincy. We saw those angry scenes when he was substituted, and you thought then there's no way back for this player. Now they really love him, Granit Xhaka. It's amazing.
Look, man, again, I ain't gonna lie, that's fans, and when you're winning games, they're gonna love you. And listen, I think the debate or the topic with him was, I don't think it was ever qualms about his ability. And even though fans would have said that, every manager that came in played him in his team. And that's just, so the ability side of it, I don't think ever was a doubt. It's just when everything clicks, it kind of clicks. And at the moment, that's the biggest thing, him coming back from how everybody disliked him when they said, you know, he threw the armband on the floor. But everything seems like is going in the same direction, and he is integral to that at the moment. Yeah. So listen, salute to him, because it just shows testament of his character.
He owes Mikel Arteta a lot, by the way, because we've seen Mikel Arteta don't suffer no fools. We've seen that with Aubameyang. Just, if you're not a good egg, get rid of you. So he must be a good egg behind the scenes, and we're led to believe that. We're told by a lot of the players when people are speaking about Xhaka that he's a good guy in the changing room. Okay, he's had his antics on the pitch. We know about those, but he does owe Mikel Arteta a lot for just sticking by him, you know, and letting him have the chance to win back the supporters, which he's done.
Which he's done. So of course he's going to salute the manager, but also credit for him, because it's hard when it's like they wanted him to fail. And that's what I couldn't understand. The Arsenal fans, you know, don't get it twisted. He's done some stuff, gets himself sent off, and you know, we know he's still got that in him. But I say this, and listen, I'm not trying to big up Arsenal and all that, but you've got to salute the guy, because he has come back from the abyss.
I agree with that. I think he's gone from a neutral looking in would say, oh, Xhaki's a liability. He's going to get red cards, he's going to get yellow card suspensions. It's gone from that to probably being one of the first names on the team sheet again.
Yeah.
And
he started the last 20-odd Premier League games in a row now, Granit Xhaka.
He needs to maintain that.
Yeah.
If he starts picking up silly yellows, silly reds again, getting silly suspensions, they can't afford that now if they're really seriously
he got booked
considering.
again today, and he does that. So he does that.
And it was a silly yellow card.
And that's what. Yeah, I think that maybe that's the thing that creeps in, and it may get you frustrated as Arsenal supporters, because it creeps in and it's silly yellows, and he's at a stage and at an age where you'll feel like he's matured enough to be like, look, I'm going to see this out, and a lot falls on his shoulders. But started 20 games, or the last 20 games, is showing. And listen, I don't think he's been sent off in that. Yep. So it's showing improvements.
Interesting to see Ben White playing. I think when he wasn't in the England squad, we'll obviously touch on that and we'll talk about that later on in the show. But when he wasn't, there was a question mark: is he injured? Like, is that why he's not been selected? Well, he clearly not, because he's back playing the right back position. He's kind of making it his own this season. I remember watching the first game of the season, Ben White versus Zaha. He's not an easy guy to maintain, Wilfred, and contain. So he done very well there, and I think that him doing so well at right back has potentially cost him his slot in the England squad, which is a strange scenario.